The world of parenting tweens in the 21st century. It really seems like a whole different ballgame compared to the pre-internet age, doesn't it? Look, I know that my girls love to hear stories about the olden days when, I only had 4 TV channels to choose from. I had no Google to ask questions like, how did I live? How did I manage? How did I survive my tween years? How are we going to survive these tween years in the 21st century? Hi, and welcome to Learning Life, and thank you so much for joining me today. Do you ever wonder how you survived without the easy access to helpful info? I loved the library, always did growing up, a good card catalog system, Dewey Decimal System, so amazing. But these days it's all at our fingertips, and I love that. I love having easy access to helpful info. Yes, it does mean searching through a whole lot more to find the good info, but in my love for finding helpful info, I love to bring helpful info. And that's why I bring these videos, because I want to help you. So I thank you for watching and for your likes, subscribes, for your comments, and joining me on this learning life. Now, I'm raising tweens. I'm starting to raise tweens, and it really makes me wonder if I have the toolkit to do so. I really sometimes feel out of my depth, especially being an older mother, which my girls like to point out. They do, all the time. Yes, I'm here. It's very different to when I grew up because my girls are alphas. They're in that first generation to fully grow up in a fully digital world. That's all that they've ever known. Technology from birth. There's always been streaming and no ads. There's always been the internet. There's always been all of this. I didn't have that. They think it's crazy that I didn't get my first mobile, my first cell phone until I was in my mid-20s. How did I live? Now, all of these different things, Generation X raising a Generation Alpha is an interesting ballgame as we look at that. So how do we parent these tweens? Navigating the digital landscape. One, I think, really may be the biggest challenge, but definitely one of the biggest challenges of parenting tweens today is this whole digital landscape. Constant barrage of screens. Yes, it's at home, but if your child is in school, they're using Chromebooks. We've got all of this. It really can be tough setting boundaries about how much screen time and really making sure that we've got good, healthy technology habits. It really is essential. Yes, we need to have rules on screen time and content restrictions. We need to be looking at online safety. There's a reason why we have those parental controls, girls. There's a reason why we say no to these games, and clearly communicating all the consequences of that. Yes, there's consequences we like. There's consequences we don't like if we're breaking rules. We have to really consider this online safety because also bullying has moved out of the playground when really it's face-to-face into the cyber world where it can be done anonymously. And the cyberbullying that's there, that's heartbreaking. So we need our children to understand how they're going to be safe, how to not be a cyberbully, and how to be responsible for their internet use. The importance of open communication and mutual respect. I think another key to parenting tweens here, 21st century, our alphas, is open communication, mutual respect. We need to have that. Let's encourage our kids to actually express their thoughts and their feelings honestly, but kindly, without that tone, please, and listen to them. Listen attentively, really hear what we're saying. Because if we're showing them that, then maybe they can be listening to us attentively. We value your opinions and your perspectives. It might not be right, but we're going to value that you have them. Can we show interest, genuine interest in their thoughts and their feelings, even though you're like, okay, really feels so very different. When we can create this safe space for our children to share their experiences, to share their concerns, this is going to be healthy. That safe space, though, is also you being able to share your experiences, your concerns, because if we're modeling this open communication, we're being transparent with our children, that is going to help our family relationship. That is going to help them. They might not fully understand your experiences, having to change a floppy disk in order to do something, what even is a floppy disk. They do not understand those things. But, it really comes through to all of it. We need to have this open and honest and transparent communication. The challenges of balancing independence and control. As tweens become more independent, and independent they will become, it can be challenging to find that right balance between giving freedom, setting boundaries. I love boundaries. Boundaries are so important. And I feel that when our children have boundaries, they're actually freer to be who they are. But we need to have those clear expectations. We need to have those consequences, because I don't know about you, but I want my children to make mistakes and to learn from them. This is how we learn. Make mistakes. Let's learn. Are we giving those age-appropriate tasks to foster that independence? Because we want our children to grow up and be functioning adults. It's important. But we also need to allow them to make decisions with reasonable limits. We're in this together. And maybe a great way to really build on that is encouraging them to pursue their passions and their hobbies. So many times when they're pursuing those things, we can really build into that independence. We need them to guide them. We need to guide them in this stage. There is really no way about it, because we want them to grow. But if we just let them fly free, those mistakes might be a whole lot more. Again, nothing wrong with mistakes, but we want to help them to grow. Being the parent. Sometimes in the midst of big emotions and prefrontal cortex development, it can be so hard that we need to remember that we are the parent. Yes, as I said, we want our children to be functioning adults and we want them to be able to have a say in things. But when there is so much just going on, these emotions that we can't get control of and all of that, there are times that your age and your authority are key. I don't like having to say it, but I'm so sorry, but as the parent of a minor, there are reasons why I'm saying this, and you're sadly going to just have to accept it, or we're going to really clash. We need to demonstrate the behaviors that we want our children to show, to emulate. We need to model that. Model how do we deal with stress and big emotions? Because if I'm just letting it all out, they're just going to let it all out. I'm not afraid of big emotions, but we need to learn how do we deal with them? How do and the consequences of it if we choose to not deal it in an appropriate way. So I need to show that. And so maybe that is showing, oh, look at me. I have to go and just do some deep breathing, or I have to go and jump on the trampoline. I find that fun. Or maybe I just need to go and scream into the pillow and get those words out that I just need to say so that nobody can. Show them whatever it is for you. Show how we can do it. But remember that we need to be patient and understanding. And sometimes that's hard, especially in the midst of their big emotions. It's hard to remember that we were at that stage and our children are still developing. This whole thinking and that prefrontal cortex development doesn't stop really until you're in your 20s. So when we've got our tweens, so much going on out there. So of course, there will be emotional outbursts and they will make mistakes. We need to stay up to date with technology trends and emerging issues. So many things that are coming on. But again, we have these great resources available to us online. So they're at our fingertips, so easy. We've got books, we've got social networks. Because if we can stay up to date with that, we can be the parent. We can help them to be learning and growing. Well, you know what? That's just going to help us and ultimately with our families. Because I know that I want my family to be close. And that means navigating the tween years well, so we're going to do it because, it can be tough. but it is incredibly rewarding. And I know that every generation says, like parenting of the next generation, like it is hard. Yes, it is. We all have different things that we are having to deal with. And so it's just learning and staying up to date with it so that we can do it. And I will say, be ready for the eye rolls. Oh, those eye rolls. And, being told that you are cringe or whatever the word is of the day right now. My girls love to tell me that I am cringe. I'm extreme cringe sometimes. I'm just like, I've made it as a parent. This is great. How can we do this? Now, it's going to happen, but we can absolutely, definitely 100% help our kids navigate this complex world with confidence, with resilience. And guess what? We can do it without losing ourselves and without losing our minds. Do you have any tricks or tips that have worked for you in parenting tweens? Love to know. Shoot a comment down below because it's always great looking at different things and thinking, I could try that. That might actually work for me. And guess what? It's also okay if it doesn't, but let's share these thoughts and these ideas because you know what? We've got these tweens. We've got our little alphas that we're needing to raise. And thank you so much for watching and being part of this learning life. You can help to get these videos out by becoming a champion. Check that out at patreon.com. Or you can also check out my website, LearningThis.Life, where I have resources available, like the posts that go along with this, great links to different things, other fun activities that you can do in pocket packs. Or, I'm available to give you a helping hand if that's what you need, because I love to step alongside and to coach and help parents.